do the knowledge. They would get on a motorcycle and they would ride the streets of London until they had it absolutely memorized. And they say, as these taxi drivers are in the fight for their life against Uber and GPS devices, they say, is there an argument for learning as an end in and of itself? And they point out that the posterior hippocampus, known to be important for memory, is bigger in London taxi drivers than in most people. And successful knowledge candidates, they see the hippocampus enlarge as they go through the learning process, through the test. Maybe we should ask if instead of being so concerned about developing artificial intelligence, maybe we should start developing human intelligence. Because the opposite is also happening. We're also seeing our ability as humans, as we become more and more dependent on electronic media, as we become more and more the vassal slaves of the technology that is supposed to serve us, we find ourselves atrophying, not only physically, but mentally. And I think that's a very dangerous thing. I think we need to reserve certain areas and understand that if we make ourselves totally dependent on technology, that's a very dangerous thing in and of itself. It atrophies even our brain. Let's go to Karen in Arizona. Karen?
I know a couple of state senators, and I called them up after they, Alex mentioned about this course at ASU, Hating Whitey. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to name his name if it's okay. Senator Russell Pierce. I called his office and I says, I don't like the idea of having a course in hating Whitey. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, he has a Constitution, freedom of speech. And I said, yes, but what this is about teaching hate. Yes. And I said, there's a difference. So people, you got to call State Representative Russell Pierce and really hold a line on, and tell him, there's a fine line in freedom of speech, but there's also a fine line. I said, what if they have a course hating blacks? I said there would be an upraising, as what? So they said, well, we're going to send a letter, and concerning this course. And I thought, we got it. I says, no, we have to defund this course.
Well, the universities have for quite some time, the entire education system, of course, is part of a control grid to manipulate the way people think of things. And this is something that's been going on. I saw elements of this when I was in college 20, 30 years ago. How long has it been now? Maybe it was longer than that. But it was definitely longer than 20 years ago. 30, 40 years maybe. Anyway, I saw elements of that when I was there. There was there was definitely an agenda that's being put out to people. And of course, we've talked about this extensively, but this is just yet one more example of how they try to use divide and conquer. And of course, speech that is directed towards white people can be very hateful and not tolerated against any other minority group. It's something that we need to look out for. But anybody that has a kid in college, you really need to be aware of this. You really need to talk to your kids, make sure they're grounded before you send them to a college, because they're going to come after their faith. They're going to come after their understanding of the way the world works. They have a socialist agenda that is going to be also a racist agenda that they're going to try to incorporate into that. Thank you so much, Karen. And people need to be aware of that and try to talk to your representatives about it. But personally, I gave up on the college system a long time ago. Let's go to John in California. John?
David, I want to broach this subject about how to restore the republic. We tried the ballot box in 2008 and 2012. The latest crop of Republican legislators that have come into the Senate have almost immediately renounced their Tea Party roots because they were told to do so by the leaders. Yeah. And there's only one way we're going to avoid civil war, and that is to have a counter coup against the foreign offshore banks that have taken control of our country, and the military must intervene as soon as possible and arrest the entire leadership of the House and the Senate, as well as the President.
Well,
they must be
the problem
arrested.
is, I think that you've got an information war that you need to fight. I think there's also possibilities of peaceful resolution of this at the state level. We've seen some positive signs out west. At the state level, we have some good representatives if they will exercise their control. I think we haven't done anything at the jury box. You know, you got not only the ballot box and the cartridge box, you've also got the jury box where you can exercise power. That's a very effective place to shut down laws that are out of control. I understand that Washington is totally taken over by criminals, but I basically am not looking for some savior to get elected as president or even as a senator or as a congressman. We have a few good senators, a few good congressmen, not enough to make a difference. I think we have to work outside the system. I'm not ready to see it go violent yet. I think there's too many things that we need to do. We need to build a much larger consensus. If we have a large consensus, we can do it peacefully. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with sex. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-852-1820. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-852-1820. That's 1-800-852-1820. Call 1-800-852-1820.
Year after year, we watch the threats steadily increase. And now, this winter has been the worst on record when it comes to our immune systems and health. For more than 2 years, InfoWarsLife.com has been watching this crisis intensify. And Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Complex was our answer. Using a proprietary process that takes ancient proven herbs and combines them with modern science, this powerful and affordable formula contains more than 14 key herbs and extracts, including echinacea, ginger root, elderberry, golden seal root, a proprietary yin chio formula, and many, many more. I take it, and so does my family. It's made in the USA, gluten-free, alcohol-free, no artificial flavors or colors, and not tested on animals. Take advantage of this introductory offer for Ancient Defense, normally $19.95, now only $14.95. That's 25% off. Visit InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139 to secure your Ancient Defense.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight. We're taking your calls, and I want to go as quickly as I can to the people who have been holding. We're going to have Rosa Koire joining us in the next hour talking about Agenda 21, her book, Behind the Green Mask, and we're going to take calls after we talk to her. We're going to take some of your calls for her about Agenda 21 in the next hour, but right now we're kind of open lines in terms of any subject. Let's go to Jim in Connecticut. You said you wanted to talk about fluoride.
Yeah, good afternoon. How you doing today?
Doing fine. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to talk about fluoride. I'm with We Are Change Connecticut, and I actually did a 2-year campaign in the city of Waterbury. And we actually get our fluoride from Mosaic Crop Nutrition also. I was actually talking to the chemist down there for a couple of days till she realized what my agenda was. But I actually pulled an FOIA report from the city of Waterbury on what the test of the fluoride is before it's administered into the water. And you already know this. In the report, lead and arsenic was in the fluoride. And like you said before, the reason why is how they get this fluoride is that's how they scrub and produce the phosphate.
Yes.
For their, for the crops and all that beautiful jazz. So, it's funny how I went through a big, huge campaign in the city of Waterbury, and I actually had a newspaper meet with me with an alderman, and they had to do a huge damage report a couple weeks later about what I did.
It's interesting when you look at the situation in Dallas where they talked about it for a year, and that last minute they pulled out. They didn't stop the fluoridation of the water. It largely broke down on the word of dentists versus the people who were there against fluoride. And they said, well, just because a dentist says it doesn't mean you should do it. So when they get into that kind of an argument, they're going to lose that argument because the people of the town council, if they don't know what's going on, if they really aren't doing it because they're being paid to do it, if there's some question about it, you're going to lose that kind of an argument. I think you need to take it from the standpoint of what you did, doing a Freedom of Information request, looking at the contents of what they're actually putting in, pointing out that it is a very hazardous substance. We had people here at InfoWars before I ever came on board, went down to the city of Austin, took pictures secretly of the fluoride container that was being dumped into the water supply here. It was a class 4 toxin. They had it marked on the tank, and you could see the corrosion on the pipes. It was absolutely amazing. That's what you need to focus on. This is harmful. You can see that it's harmful. This is not even the fluoride that should be given as a supplement. And then talk about, do you really want to try to mass medicate people through the water supply? Is that an effective way to do it? How do you control the dosage? Well, the simple fact is you can't control the dosage. And you shouldn't be force medicating people with anything. It's not a harmless thing. No medication is. You have to watch what you take regardless of whether it is something that is very dangerous. You can take too much of anything. So you don't have any way to control the dosage when you dump it into the water supply. You certainly don't have any way to protect the children. Thank you so much, Jim. I hope you get it out of the water there in Waterbury. Are they still working on that? Or how did that turn out? Oh, he's gone. Okay, sorry. Let's go to Nick in California. Nick, you also want to talk about fluoride, and you said you're on KOMY 1340 AM.
You can probably tie into but the fluoride, I live near Watsonville. Hello, David.
Hey.
There?
Yes, okay. Go ahead.
In Watsonville, they voted against a new system to put fluoride in the water. The state came back and said, we've got a program. You have to have the system if there's somebody who will finance it. And that didn't go away until the backer pulled out. We're in a strawberry area, and where they use fumigants like methylbromide. Mm-hmm. And the methyl iodine was sort of the same story. We're going to have it. They're throwing away everybody's law. Until Fukushima came, the Japanese company who was making the product, methyl iodine.
Absolutely. They're jamming it down people's throats, and they don't really care. If you get it done at the local level, they're going to come in and try to override it. Stay with us. We're going to be right back with more of your calls. Rosa Corey in the next hour.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.